Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Becca and today I'm going to be showing you how to distress your jeans. These are the jeans that I'm going to be distressing in the video. They don't really have a lot going on for them right now, but they're really comfortable and I'm excited to spice them up. Side note, I just got the hiccups, and if you want to get rid of your hiccups, just drink water upside down. It works every time. Before we get started, it's important to note the material of your jeans. You can find jeans made out of a really stiff denim material, but you could also find jeans made out of a legging material. And in order to distress them, they can't be that super elastic legging material. If you're unsure if your jeans are too elastic to distress properly, I would suggest starting on the back pocket. It's a small, discreet place that you'll be able to hide fairly easily if it doesn't work out how you want it to. The tools you'll need for this project are your jeans, a pair of scissors, something to draw on your jeans with, and some tweezers. The first step is to take your drawing tool and mark horizontal lines on your pants where you want your first rip to go. I want this rip to be fairly small, so I'm only marking 3 lines. Once your markings are drawn, you're going to fold the fabric in half and make an initial cut where you drew your lines. Once your initial cut is finished, you can unfold the fabric and then finish cutting the line the rest of the way. This is another pair of distressed jeans I own, and you'll notice that on top of the hole are all these white pieces of string. This is the look that we're going for on the pair of jeans that we're distressing right now. If you didn't know, jeans have a lot of string, I guess, that's woven vertically and horizontally, kind of like that, okay? And so what we're doing is we are cutting horizontally and then using our tweezers to pull out all of the vertical strings, leaving only horizontal strings left. That's a vertical string I just pulled out. So once these cuts are done, you're just going to continue doing that, pulling all the vertical strings out. You will sometimes pull a few horizontal strings, that's fine. Here's a section I just cleared out, and you can see there's only horizontal strings left. All the vertical strings are gone. So you're just going to do that to all your strips. I'm going to continue pulling these vertical strings out off camera. Here's the first rip finished. If you're thinking that the edges still look a little bit unnatural, you don't have to worry, because once the jeans go through the wash one time, the edges will be more distressed as well, and overall, the rip will look uniform and natural. Okay, this is how I marked the rip for my thigh. So to go over the process again, you're going to start with your fabric scissors. Make sure that when you're on the leg especially, that you're only cutting through that one layer of fabric. You can put your arm through the jeans if you're worried that you might cut through the back layer as well. Pinch it like this. Create a small cut on the line, and then pull it out straight again when you go to cut the full length of the line. The reason why you cut it into strips instead of just doing a hole at the top and bottom is because the vertical threads would be a lot harder to pull out if you were pulling it out of a strip that big. There you go. Those are all the cuts finished. Once this is done, it's time to get your tweezers and start pulling out those vertical strands. So I'm going to do some more thread pulling off camera because it's a little boring to watch, and I'll come back when I have a few more strips done. Okay, here's a quick update. I'm on the second strip. This part detached from that side. I'm having a lot of that going on from the first rip. This is the only section of horizontal strings that I actually have that are connected to both sides. It's a little disappointing. I wanted there to be more strings that went all the way across, but there are a lot of distressed jeans where the hole is mostly open. So I think that they'll still probably turn out pretty cute, but I guess we won't know until I'm done. Okay, so it's a little hard to see, but this is after pulling all the strings out of the thigh rip. Here are all the strings I pulled out. It took a while, but I split some. But yeah, I think it actually is gonna look pretty good. Here's how this rip looks when the jeans are on. You can see all those horizontal threads that were ripped on that inner side. I think it looks a little silly, a little bit too much. So I'm gonna cut off some of that excess string, but in terms of the gaps on the rip itself, I actually like how it turned out. Alright, this is where I decided to put the lines on my knee. So again, I'm gonna use my scissors to cut these horizontal strips, and then use my tweezers to pull out all the vertical strings. I'll see you when this patch is done. I just did the first section of the rip on the knee, and so far this one is going a lot better in terms of keeping the strings attached on both sides and not ripping. Here's another update of how the knee rip is looking. For some reason I thought it might look cute to keep some strips as they are. It does not, so I'm gonna finish de-threading those and then I'll move on. On the same length the knee rip is, I'm going to add another rip up here and possibly one in that gap. To finish these jeans, I'm going to cut around the ankle about 2 or 3 inches up to give them a raw edge and pull the distressed look together. I decided to go 2.5 inches up and measure with my ruler so that both legs would be even. That looks pretty even, so I'm just going to get my fabric scissors out and cut off the ankles. I'm just going to take my tweezers and start pulling on strings like this because I want them to look more distressed. I also take my fingernail and go like this, kind of get that frayed edge. So I'm just going to keep fraying this edge and I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, this is what the ankles look like. Here's the finished product of the jeans. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I feel like they look like you could have bought them at the store, and I think they're really cute. I also wanted to show you the extra distressing I did on the ankle. I think that the most important thing is cutting those initial strips as perfectly horizontal as possible, because if you accidentally cut on an incline, you'll snap those horizontal threads before you even get a chance to pull out all the vertical ones. Another thing that helped me a lot to keep those horizontal threads intact and not snap them was to cut thicker strips, and it didn't make it harder to pull out the vertical threads. Those are the main things. If you think that you would like to have a tear that's a little bit more open and has less threads going across, I would suggest doing your very best to keep as many threads intact the first time you go through, and then after the rip is finished, you can go back and cut any of those threads if you don't like them. But if you intentionally tear threads before you finish the rip, you might end up with way less than you wanted. Overall, I'd say that this took me about 6+ hours, which was longer than I expected, but I still think it's worth it. I really like how it turned out, and it didn't feel too tedious or boring. Like, I didn't even notice the time was going by. If you kind of just want to have fun with it, then you can totally be doing other things while just mindlessly pulling the strings out. It doesn't require much focus. Alright, I hope you liked my video. If you distress your own jeans, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And if you did like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Bye!